A Christmas Mouse. A Children's Christmas Story by Julia Annan. Once upon a time, there, in a hole in the corner of the Wood household, lived a little mouse named Jingle. Jingle went to live in the Wood house every year around Christmas time. One of Jingle's favorite parts of this holiday was the giant Christmas tree that was put right outside of his door. Every year, the day after they got the tree, the Woods would decorate it with beautiful ornaments, lights, and a star that went on the very top. After Jingle heard the last door close upstairs each night, he would crawl out of his small hole in the wall and look at the beautiful lit-up Christmas tree. His Christmas tree. One night he was looking at his Christmas tree when he heard someone coming down the stairs. "Who could that be?" he asked himself. "I know I heard the last door close." He quickly ran back into his hole and waited to see what was going on. He heard feet tap down the stairs and then saw the little girl that lived there. "Alice!" he squeaked to himself. "Hello, little mouse." Alice peeked into Jingle's hole. Jingle jumped back and froze. "I won't hurt you. I'm just waiting for Santa." She sat down on the couch and took one of the cookies from Santa's plate and placed half of it on the ground. "You sure do love cookies, huh, little mouse?" Alice said as Jingle ran out and quickly ate his half of the cookie. Jingle then sat where he was, ready to run away from the girl at any second. "Do you like the tree, little mouse?" Alice asked, as she looked up at the tree and rang one of the bell ornaments. She looked down at Jingle, who still hadn't moved a muscle. "You should have a name. How about Belle? Or, I don't know." Jingle stayed as still and as quiet as a mouse could be. The bell rings. It dings. "Oh, I know. It jingles." The little mouse looked at Alice. "Jingle," repeated Alice. She took the smallest bell off the tree and put it on the ground. Then as she was looking up at the beautiful star, she caught the mouse looking up at it also. "You know, I think I have a book that tells about Christmas trees." Alice stood up and slowly walked into the other room. She quietly returned with a medium-sized book in her hands and a piece of string. She tied the string onto the bell and left it where it was. Then she opened the book to a page that had a picture of a big star shining over a little barn. "This is where the Savior was born," she pointed to a little manger with a baby in it. "He was born in a manger in a barn because there was no room in the inn. All kinds of people came to visit the baby because he was to be the highest king of them all. The star showed these people the way to the baby. That's why there's a star on top of the tree. It's to show that people followed a star to get to the Savior." Alice looked at Jingle, who was staring at her with an attentive look. She flipped the page and continued with her story. "The ornaments mean something, too. Some of the people that went to visit the baby were shepherds, some were men that were wise, and some were just regular people. The wise men brought fancy gifts of spices, perfumes, and even gold. Some of the ornaments that are more fancy are supposed to show the gifts of the wise men brought, and some show the wise men. The ornaments show all the people and gifts being brought up by the star to meet the King of Kings. Jingle looked up at the tree and thought about all the people that must have gone to see the new king. It made him like the tree even more. The Savior came to save the world from bad things. He loves us more than anything," she smiled, and said a quick prayer. Jingle looked up at Alice and thought about it all. She gave him a big smile and yawned. "I'm going to wait in bed for Santa, and when I hear him, I'll come back down. Good night, Jingle. See you again next year." She tiptoed her way back upstairs, and Jingle stared at the tree. "Goodbye, Alice," he squeaked quietly to himself. He was on his way back to his hole when he remembered the bell Alice had put on the ground. He ran over to it and saw a tag attached to the bell. "Merry Christmas, Jingle," it read. He gently slid it around his neck and jingled his way back to his hole. The end. Merry Christmas.